Hello folks. So I want to talk about something. I want to talk about how all evil is caused by wounds. All people who do evil things do it because they've been wounded, in my opinion. So this creates a an answer to a question, because somebody might say, and I'll just somebody might say, why is this guy being such a dick, right? And the reason is, the answer is, because they're hurting. And it may not seem like that, but that's the answer. So whenever you hear that, that's the answer. It's because they're hurting or have been hurt. What happens is there's a process. What happens is there's a tender, open child usually. They get hurt. They go through a stage of pain. Then they get to a stage of numbness. And when they're numb, they're not necessarily feeling the pain overtly. And so they might not even think that they're in pain or need healing. And they may not necessarily be in pain, but they are suffering from the results of pain, of the pain that has been caused them. When you get to this stage of numbness, it makes you able to cause pain to others and not feel bad about it, and maybe even feel good about it. And okay, so this. Okay, let me elaborate on this. Pain. Okay. So pain. When you're numb, you might begin to have a fascination with darkness. And I'll explain a little briefly about what darkness is. Darkness is everything evil, I guess you can say. It's everything that's destructive and causes harm, contributes to the poor state of the planet. So if you think of something and it's causing harm, it's darkness. Aside from natural phenomena. Okay. So I think we can understand. I think if we think about it, we don't have to get all philosophical about it. You can just. It's really actually very simple. If people are intentionally causing harm, that's darkness. That's darkness. If people are intentionally doing good and helping, that's love. Or it's close to love. It's the light. If people are intentionally doing good. Now we have a choice here in life to choose whether to be dark or light. And usually we choose somewhere in between. We choose some areas to be dark, some areas to be light. But in my opinion, that's not good enough. We need to choose to be all light. That's what I think. Because I think if everyone chose to be all light, this place would be a utopia. Why? Because the people make the place. The population makes the place, makes the quality of the place of Earth. The quality of the people determines it. So people begin to get a fascination with darkness, and they begin to get pleasurable feelings from doing harmful things. And they forgot about what it was like to be an emotionally tender being who got pleasure from goodness. And now, when they're numb, when they try to do good things, that pleasure from goodness is dulled, because their hearts are dulled, because they've gone through that pain process. So how do you get out of this situation? How do you get out of this terrible situation? Well, for me, I can only talk about for me because it's different for everyone. But for me, it came from understanding. It came from seeing the potential of this planet and the beings on this planet. And by potential, I mean what it could be, what this world could be, what humans could be. That gave me hope, because it made me realize that there is an answer. Love is the answer. Love is the answer. If love was central, forget whatever religion it is. If love is central, then if everybody measured their actions and compared it to love and the light is just another way of saying love in a way, then you can see which actions are beneficial and which actions are harmful. Did the actions come from love? Okay, but so yeah, the potential helped me. Why? Because I saw the beauty of what could be, what could exist. So for me, imagining the beauty of what could exist made me inspired to try and create that here. So I feel like when somebody is steeped in darkness, there's a lot of ignorance, because I feel like people haven't fully thought out the ramifications of their darkness and the collective butterfly effects of people and their dark behavior. So what I would invite you to do is imagine, it's like the John Lennon song. Listen to the John Lennon song, Imagine, and actually imagine it. Just imagine people. Imagine when you're in pain. Say you're in pain in your house, in a room in your house or something, and say you have other people around, and 10 people heard that you're in pain, and all of them bought you gifts, comforted you, treated you nicely, and cared. Wouldn't that feel good? But in this world, very rarely does even one person do that, right? That's what people need, to be loved. And it's hard to love when you don't feel loved. So what's happened is we've fallen into a pit. And if you're standing on the surface, you can just walk away, right? If you're standing on the surface and there's no pit, right? You can just walk away. If the pit is 2 feet deep, you can step out of it. And it takes a few more seconds, a little bit harder, but you can step out of it. If the pit is 6 feet deep, well, then you're going to have to find a way to climb out of it. So what has happened is human beings have been digging a pit, digging a pit, digging a pit, and they're stuck in the pit. And so climbing out of it is much harder than just simply stepping out of it. But there didn't need to be a pit, I don't think. But that's besides the point. The point is, now We have to, as a species, climb out of this pit. And it would be easier to climb out of the pit if people work together to do it. Maybe put your backs together and walk up the pit, or something. I don't know. But it may be easier, right? Hoist yourself on top of each other. And so you have a bunch of individual humans in their own subjective hells, or respective hells, and pits. When the people on the surface should be the one trying to pull the people out of these pits. So, for me, I'm getting closer and closer to being out of the pit, if not already out of it. So I'm trying to now help people climb out of their pits. And that's what I want all of you to do. I want you to climb out of your pits and help all the other people in their pits. Because that's what's going to get people out. So, yeah, that's just me talking. Alright.